Welcome back, everyone. Well, probably around 4 years ago, I met my guest, and what struck me about him when I met him was just how excited he was just to be alive and to be president of the chamber. And you want to know something? We haven't seen each other in about a year, and just sitting down with him again today, I just recall that clearly. It's Pete Bardunias, who is the president of the Chamber of Southern Saratoga County. Welcome, Pete.
Jesse, thank you. Well, that's quite an intro.
Well, it is. Some of us luck out and get into a career that we really love. But between your love of history and just the whole sense of community, the Chamber of Southern Saratoga County that's perfect for you, and you're perfect for them. So,
wow, thank you. I like to feel that way. I really enjoy what I do, and hopefully it comes out that way.
Yeah, it does. Now, you've been president of the chamber, I got to do the math backwards here, but at least 5 years?
5.5, actually.
Yeah, right, okay, because I remember when we first met, you had just started.
Yes, that's correct.
Goes back a ways. Now, for those of us that are viewers who want to know the area that you encompass, it's the official name is the Chamber of Southern Saratoga County.
That is right.
So not to be confused with Economic Development Corporation or the Chamber in Saratoga.
Correct.
What communities do you take in?
Well, we consider ourselves to cover 18 communities, roughly. Wow. Basically, exit 13 down to the bridges, but we do kind of do a little bit of work up towards Schuylerville along the river because of all the river towns, and also some stuff out in Charlton and Milton. We've been doing more up there, as well as Glenville. Glenville's sort of in between. It's Schenectady County, but it's so close, and there's a lot of synergies, plus a good chunk of it's in the Burn Hills School District, Burn Hills Boston Lake School District. So I
bet, and the canal actually goes down that way.
Sure does.
Yeah,
sure does. Right. And as you know, that's one of my
it's one
projects.
Of your, no, I remember that clearly. How many members in the chamber?
Roughly 1,070. It fluctuates, but that's roughly where we are. We're the third largest chamber in the capital region in terms of number of members.
I venture to say that trying to herd 1,000 members is like, what's the phrase, trying to herd cats?
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm very blessed that we have such a diverse membership. I mean, we have everything from the smallest entrepreneurs all the way up to some of the biggest companies on the planet. And we're blessed also to be able to say that you can shop local and shop with some of the biggest companies on the planet. That's a very fortunate thing for us in the capital region. So for a lot of reasons, this really works out well.
Now, we've got a couple of achievements that we can talk about. Most recently, though, we became aware of the initiative in Mechanicville for the restoration of the train station as part of a master plan to revitalize that area. Can you talk a bit about that?
Sure. What we're looking at is we do our economic development, if you will, from the ground up, meaning that we think that if you can do some things to really beautify a central area, whatever it is, downtown or some other area that's of significance, and then start doing other things that radiate out from it, maybe like spokes on a wheel, that you can really create something that has some meaning and can turn into jobs and new buildings and new businesses. So one of those projects is you've got the twin railroad buildings next to each other. You got the XO Tower, which has been refurbished. We finished that project this year. And then you've got the train station, which, at one time was a very significant point of departure and entrance for immigrant populations, workers, people throughout the area. And now the train station is there, and it kind of sits forlornly, and we think if we straighten it out and make it nice, it can be a really great focal point for the city.
When I was talking to Pete before we started this interview, I asked him where he thought the growth potential was, and the restoration of that train station really fits into what you said to me. You said, it's really the Hudson River and the Route 4 corridor, which shoots right smack through Mechanicville.
Again, remembering that, everybody, of course, talks about Luther Forest and Global Foundries. That's a given. We know that's happening.
Right. Yeah.
So where else should we be looking? And it's my opinion that we should look at the river towns. Work your way up Route 4. There's already a lot of commercial sites there that could be turned into industry. We have several that we're looking at very closely and advocating for, and I think we're going to see some surprises there for people that haven't been looking at that location.
I got it. It's a very rundown location right now, but boy, you talk about history, you talk about what that meant, that rail station at one point. That was the main corridor shooting straight north.
Absolutely. It's also crossroads. That's why that XO Tower is across the street. You could go east-west, north-south. And we tell the story about how during World War II, Supervisor Tom Richardson's father got drafted. And when they found that he worked in the Mechanicville rail yards, now this was the commercial yards, they undrafted him because he was more valuable in Mechanicville, New York than in Normandy or Iwo Jima. Go figure.
Go figures, right? Now, you mentioned another project with a great name, by the way.
Yeah.
Area 3.
Area 3, yes.
I'm worried now. Little green people in Washington.
Well, listen, if that's what it takes to get that developed, we may have to do that. But honestly, it's Area 3 because it's Area 3 of 6. There's 6 different parts of the town of Half Moon where the Half Moon Business and Economic Development Committee, which I sit on, Councilwoman Jordan runs it. You know, a lot of volunteers. We just think there's a lot of ways to make that community stronger. But Area 3 gets me excited because it's a potential for intermodal rail and canal with manufacturing, 21st century. We're not talking about big old-fashioned smokestacks. We're talking about, you know, innovative, modern types of construction methods being done right along the Hudson River, and that could be really exciting.
You know, and I think that that's a future too. I really do. I wanted to ask you about the anniversary. So we've got 50 years coming up.
50 years for the Chamber, yep. We've been here since 1967, and it's going to be a big year for us.
Good. Well, I look forward to talking to you during the year about different projects and listening. This boy, is one hell of a history buff. I'm telling you right now. I wish we had time to go into some of the stories. And with a real love of the canal system.
We'll have to.
So I always look forward to seeing you and talking with you. But thank you for coming in, Pete.
Absolutely, Jesse. I hope that we get a chance to talk about some of those historic events as the year unfolds next year.
You got it. Thanks. To see this interview again, you can head to our website, looktvonline.com.